Unwanted attention on the street climbs by 15% in the winter. And nearly half of Brits surveyed admitted to feeling unsafe in their neighbourhoods at night. Well, I'm joined now by the app's founder, Emma Kay. Morning to you, Emma Kay. Thanks for talking to us. So tell us a little bit more about this research then. People feeling more unsafe as the clocks go back.
Thank you for having me. Yes, we conducted some research around the clock change, and actually, I suppose it wasn't surprising, but it was still really disheartening to see that 24% of adults are not looking forward to the clock change, and actually that number sharply increases to 38% for 18 to 24-year-olds. So these are young people who should be going out, living their lives, enjoying university, experiencing all that the UK has to offer around Christmas time, and in fact, they feel too unsafe on our streets to do that.
And what is it that people are afraid of? We talk about harassment. What kind of thing are we talking about that they worry will happen to them after dark?
So I think generally, typically is street harassment. I mean, that takes many forms, sexual violence, theft against a person. 45,000 public posts on social media about feeling unsafe happen. And actually 11,000 of that reference street harassment. And actually the most searches that one tends to do is around October, which is when the clocks go back at winter months. So there's just a lot of fear on being on our streets at night.
And is that because it's actually more dangerous at that time of year, or we're more aware of the dangers because we notice it's darker earlier?
Actually, forecast analysis from the data shows that November and December alone, over 400,000 violent and sexual offences are forecast on our streets. This is nearly 16,000 more than were recorded in the lighter months of April and May. So as you can see, there is actual data to prove this. And actually another crime stat that actually crimes against a person and possession of weapons actually increases by 5% in the winter months. So yeah, I actually think it's fair to say that people feel unsafe, and the data reflects that.
And are there differences across the country at all in how people responded?
Marginally, pretty much all of the survey data that we collected was a percent different. So actually you may have thought that perhaps London would have been higher, but actually compared to Wales and Manchester and Birmingham, and Liverpool, it's pretty much of a muchness.
And what about city versus rural areas? Because you think, obviously, there are lots of people around in cities, but sometimes the streets are better lit than some rural areas, for example. Do you have any analysis of that?
So I can tell you how people feel. So actually, a third of people now, when it's darker, actually don't want to leave their house as much at night. 23% actually refraining from doing evening activities, and 15% are choosing to walk their dog less. So actually, there isn't much of a difference between how people feel within rural areas versus city. I think across the board, people are altering their behaviour. I think the cost of living crisis is having a detrimental impact on how people are living their lives. And I think ultimately fear is high and people are not wanting to take the risks.
So what could be done about it? What should the authorities be doing in your view?
Quite a lot. Sadly, I always say this, that there are short, medium and long-term objectives. And all the while we're waiting for improved CCTV lighting, CCTV and lighting, and I don't think so. Having more bobbies on the beat. Those sorts of things take a very long time to implement, and that's why we've created WalkSafe, which is a free personal safety app with a suite of digital tools that can help people feel safe immediately. I know some people may say it is a sticking plaster, but we are able to help people navigate the streets of London immediately and actually keep themselves safe as of today.
OK, well, Emma Kay, founder of WalkSafe, we appreciate your time. Thanks very much indeed for joining us here this morning. Now, just before